It is a beautiful day to be me. I hope it is a beautiful day to be you. Welcome back to the podcast. Currently, it is a especially beautiful day to be me because I have bought shoes, and I've actually I haven't seen them yet. And let's see, I bought them from Argentina. Jesus fuck. They're huge! I'm not sure if I like them. I've been waiting for them for 3 months. You see, one of the things I have to do, because I have a very wide foot, and having wide feet means... Exactly, I have to buy wide shoes, and all my life I've been buying very good looking sexy boots, but at some point my feet were hurting so much together with my knees and hips that I had to switch to barefoot shoes. And I look like a duck. Look at this. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I guess... Fuck. I still have to get used to it. I just got used to my other, kind of sneakers that are wide. And I wore them in and they started to look not good, but not as bad as in the beginning. But these shoes are... weird. Fuck. Well, it's still a beautiful day to be me. Today we will talk about happiness. We will talk about the new Swatch Audemars Piguet collaboration, and we will talk about the new Drake album. But first, we need to talk. So come a bit closer. We need to. That's too close. We need to talk. There's only a couple of you that are listening, and I invest 2 hours a week to make this podcast, and I'm doing it, and it's fun for me. I'm learning a lot. But if you can just take 30 seconds, it will take you 30 seconds to ask a question. Just any question. It would be so quick. It would make this podcast for me much more exciting to make. So I can have an interaction between you right here and here in front of the camera. So please keep that in mind, because... we need to look after my vanity. So, I still can't believe how big those shoes are. Oh, Jesus Christ. Might have to send them back. They're this... Look again. They're okay from the side. But look at this. I don't think I'm ready to make such a statement, to live this lifestyle. Even though they actually fit. That's the shoe I have to wear, so my toes aren't like this, and I'll end up with some irreversible damage. As you know, that's how most people wear their shoes. Their preference is style. Now, I don't mind wearing tight shoes if I have to wear a tux. If I wear a tux, I wear tight, beautiful, elegant shoes. But day to day, I just need something that holds up. But that, I don't even know if that... Well, it is what it is. So, let's talk about how to live a good life. I first said let's talk about happiness, but that's not how it is, because happiness is a fleeting emotion. It is very dangerous to chase happiness, because happiness will eventually, it will just come to you if you have a good life. And what you're actually seeking is content. How do you feel content or satisfied throughout the day? This is, I believe, what you can achieve. What I'm trying to achieve, to a certain degree, have achieved. That because content is like a baseline. You know, maybe you've seen those dopamine videos. There's a dopamine baseline, and you can move it about. And as with dopamine, you can lower the baseline, so you don't need as much just to feel like content. Because feeling alright, that's already not enough. You know, if you're alright, you don't feel very good. Just when you're sitting and there's nothing happening, that you just feel good where you are currently. And I was thinking about this idea, and I have written down 6 steps. There's obviously more or less. That's my current interpretation, and what I could think of. I could probably think of even more, but this isn't a philosophy degree we're doing here. This is just person to person advice. So first thing you can do is, as we just talked about, accepting that happiness is a fleeting emotion. It will go, it will come. The same with sadness. Sadness will come, sadness will go, and that's how life is. You move between these stages, but we're looking to find content. So the second thing you can do is accept that people are flawed. And this, I believe, is very important, because you will have a completely different view of people and life when you accept that they are flawed. In the end, every perfect person, even the Pope, has his mistakes. And if you can't accept that people are flawed, it will be even more difficult for you to love people, not just romantically, but also friendship and family. Because usually the closer you get to somebody emotionally, and as I said, this can be romantic or in any other kind of relationship, friendship, family ship, this is when you will realize how flawed someone actually is. And I think a lot people accept especially of their romantic partner, to be perfect and ideal. And then all those nooks and crannies come up and starts to fall apart. They're having weird things they're doing and saying and habits. Yeah, that's just part of that person. Now it's not your job to change a person. Obviously, if suddenly this person is some crazy fascist, well, maybe if you're not into that, you need to move on. And there's also always a certain healthy degree to see if you can stay and accept those mistakes. Maybe if it's something you really don't like, tell them. But in the end, people don't change if you want them to change. People only change if they themselves want to change. But if you can just see that humanity as it is flawed, then you can accept that that's the way it is and learn to love it. Right. Third, accept change. Well, that's kind of a Buddhist philosophy. I've been dabbling in Eastern philosophy the past few years. And change is something it is very anti-human mind, kind of. I think that's because in the way we live currently, because before we had houses and, you know, warm water and a supermarket, you had to adapt to changes every other day. You had to find new ideas to get food whatsoever. But now our lives are very programmed, you know. So it is very difficult to adjust to that. You know, if you every day you know where to get your food, where to go to work. You have your coffee machine in the kitchen every morning. You go there, you drink your coffee, then maybe you have a cigarette, maybe a little breakfast. You take the same train at the same time. You arrive at the same time in the office, do similar tasks. So we have this routine that's, you know, very good for productivity and just in general to keep a system going. Society as it is right now, that's just a big, very complicated system, and it has to run on time, otherwise everything will fall apart. But actually everything is in constant change. You lose friends, you lose your family, people die, the house you once lived in is now replaced by another house, other people live in there. You know, suddenly there's floods, there's geopolitical drama that you can't influence. Whatever happens geopolitically, that's like astronomy. You know, if some megalomaniac somewhere on the other side of the planet decides to attack another planet, country, you can't do anything about it. So that's everything changes, and you need to learn to just if there's something new, just adapt as quickly as possible and don't try to blame somebody or it's not how it used to be. You know, all people talk like that. Just accept that change is inevitable. Fourth point to have a good life is to forgive people. I think that's very important. We need to forgive each other because that's part of being a flawed human beings. We will disappoint people. That's inevitable. You know, we always try not to. Other people will disappoint you. And, you know, it's okay to ruminate about it, but at some point in your life, especially if you always think about it, you know, if some person did something bad to you and you don't care about it, well, that's actually kind of forgiving already. But if you're still 3 years in thinking about this moment, oh, this motherfucker, he did this and that to me, if you're still after 3 years laying in bed and you just have for some reason this person in your head, just call him up and forgive him. Or also apologize. You know, me, sometimes I'm thinking in bed and just think, I didn't treat this person right and whatever and so forth. So sometimes you just also have to reach out and apologize. And that's can feel very good, especially and actually only especially if your apology is accepted. Then you can just go on. If the apology is not accepted, then this person probably, depending what you did, has still bigger problems than you. But you hear of stories that people forgive their murderers of other families and so on. And also people forgive murderers because usually they have to at some point continue their own life, and hate burns up a lot of your own energy, of your good energy, to be outside and be a good human being. So you have to forgive people. Number 5, have a shit happens attitude when something goes wrong. Now that's maybe also part of the accept change. But for change is more of a slow change. Accepting change, that's about the slow movement of life. When shit happens, that's imminent. And acceptive reacting in a negative way, try to react in a positive way. Instead of screaming at a person, if someone brings out a couple of glasses of wine at dinner for your friends, maybe it's your house and a friend brings it out and he drops all the glasses. You can be angry at him, or you can, as quickly as possible, try to help him. Help him and clean it up. Now that's actually, most people are good at this because no one likes to react. No one likes to hang out with people that if you made a mistake, they freak out. These people are hated throughout the whole world. But what's also part of this is, don't freak out or get angry when something nearly went wrong. Like the other example, again, your friend helps you to move something very delicate, and then your friend slips and the glasses or whatever, this delicate thing, let's say a vase, falls down, but he catches in the last moment. Nothing happened, but some people freak out. Stop! Be careful! You nearly killed my dearest vase! But he didn't, right? He caught it. Just say, oof. We were lucky. We're lucky. We're lucky. That's something beautiful. So if something only nearly happens, you can ignore it. Just tell him, next time, hold it a bit better. Give a friendly advice. Without being a dick. And then number 6. And this is the hardest part. I think this is where I and you can work the most. And I've talked about this a couple of times. You need to chase your ultimate selves. And I think that's so hard to define, right? Because everybody defines their own life. And if you find a way to live the way you want, to say what you want to say, to people you want to talk to, be surrounded with people you like, do something which you always wanted to do, then you will have a very happy life without regrets. Because even if it doesn't work out when you're 82, at least you can say you tried. And since when it's not cool to try, right? As A$AP Rocky said. So that's a couple of ideas how to live a good life. Little tea break. I have a little headache today, but that's okay. 2006, we're not even half in it, and it is the absolutely craziest year for music, at least when you're a hip-hop fan, when you like the rap, hibbity hops, right? The music, I like them old country music, I'm dreaming away in California. No. Kanye West dropped an album. A$AP Rocky dropped an album. J. Cole dropped an album. Action Bronson dropped an album. And today Drake dropped an album, Iceman, which is a very good album. Well, let's go back to it. And honestly, it's a bit too much. Usually it takes me about a month to get into an album, because the way I listen to an album is, first I'll find the 2-3 songs I like from the beginning. And usually if it's an interesting project, it will have a couple of new ideas. This artist hopefully brought some new ideas. If it didn't, why listen to it if it's exactly the same as last time? I don't want that. So it takes a while for me, and I think for most people, to warm up to this new style of music. But now I don't have time, because once I found those good couple of songs, there's a new album dropping. Action Bronson dropped his album a week ago, and I just found the 3 songs that I liked. Now there's already the new Drake album, which is honestly the first album, Iceman, that I like. I'm not a big Drake fan. I never really liked Drake, but there was always some quality that I liked a lot. And what he did now, he dropped 3 different albums. And I currently don't know what is the name of. Wait 1 second. We look at the Spotify. We have Maid of Honor, and the other song, the other album is called Habibti. And probably the reason why I like Iceman is all the Drake style songs that I don't like are in the other 2 albums. I don't like this kind of singy Drake. Never been. I don't think he's a good singer. I really don't like to listen to it. But I like him as a rapper, and he always has great production because he has a lot of money and he can afford the best producers. And now all the good songs are in one album. And for the first time, I like it. And, it was already such a saturated year of hip hop. And I think this move was just incredible. That was a proper chess move, because all these musicians, rappers, dropped their interesting big album, like A$AP Rocky, and he he just saturates the market with 3 albums. With Iceman has 18 songs, Maid of Honor 14 songs, and Habibti 11 songs. And Drake is still the biggest artist of them all, and everybody will listen to these albums, and he will probably dominate this summer. And also the reason why Drake is more successful than Kendrick Lamar is these songs are very accessible. I really liked GNX, but I also understand why most people didn't like the latest Kendrick Lamar album. There's a lot of weird beats, like which one is the TV off, no, GNX. Yeah, I mean, most people will listen to this and think, Jesus Christ, what the hell am I listening to? But I really like weird music. I really like weird songs. I like something new. And yeah, that's the state of music. Also, you also probably got, if you listen to Spotify, there's your all-time top songs playlist they released, and it was kind of flashback for me, because most of those songs I listened 10 years ago, because probably 10 years ago I just really started to listen to music. I started to discover artists, so I listened the same 3 albums over and over. But listening to these songs that I listened 10 years ago over and over just set me back to the time I was 17, 18. And some songs I think it's a bit cringe that I listened to it. I developed, but also there's some songs that I'm still listening to, and it was just like funny to see how it developed. For example, there's a couple of, in my top 100 most songs, there's David Bowie. And I especially remember listening to Space Oddity the first time. My mind just expanded. I didn't know that music can be this crazy medium for storytelling. Unfortunately, I started listening to David Bowie when he died, because when I was young, like, he didn't make any proper, like, he wasn't big in the charts or something. That's not the music we listen to. But when he died, he was all over the news. People were saying, "Oh, you don't know who this is? This is one of the greatest artists ever." And then you check him out and just, oh wow, I understand why he had such an impact. And yeah, also the last album he dropped then, Lazarus, was it? No, Black Star. That's his last album he released. That was also very cool album with some weird jazz. Either way, let's talk about the AP Swatch collaboration. Just fits because the last 2 episodes we talked about watches, so why not continue? It started by me hating on watch collections, and now it's the 3rd time I talk about watches. So call me a hypocrite. Thank you. I think I really like the AP and Swatch collaboration. Think about it. Just leave it there. If you don't agree, just take in this information that I like it, and it's okay that I have a different opinion to you. It's okay. And now we can just Now you can listen to my opinion, and maybe there's something in there. Maybe I talk some, not some sense into you, but maybe you can see a different perspective to what you had before. Maybe we can both learn something. Well, you can maybe learn something because if you want to give your opinion to me, write a comment, please. I beg you. Either way, I think the AP and Swatch collaboration is something very cool, because, and also the Omega and Swatch collaboration was also very cool. Again, because swimming in circles today. Such brands as Omega and especially Audemars Piguet, they have such a rich and interesting history as a brand, and also as a cultural, how do I say it? They also had this great cultural impact on our human culture. Everybody wears watches. This is a big part. The problem is, to be part of this interesting watch world, you always had to spend a fortune. Not as much as with Omega. Not as much with Omega, but with Audemars Piguet, like, before you could get there and wear such a watch, you need to make a lot of money before you decide to spend. How much is it? Like 40k on a watch? 25 for a Royal Oak? Wait, Royal Oak starting price. Come on. What is Royal Oak starting price? 22.5 to 30 grand. This is what Google says. That's probably if you buy it secondhand. If you probably can't get one new. So now everybody can buy an Audemars Piguet if they want to, and be kind of part of their rich history. So yeah, that's my take on the Audemars Piguet and Swatch. I think it's too expensive to for what it is, a little plastic watch. If they bring a strap, maybe then, but in the end you can for $400 you can buy other automatic watches, which you then have to wind every 90 hours, is it? Which is a pain in the ass. You want a watch that just does everything by itself. But either way, you can be part of this history, which I think is kind of cool. What I don't think is cool is standing in line for a week to wait until it drops. This is batshit crazy. Maybe one night, if you're just a super fan, one night, but in New York they're waiting 6 days. These knuckleheads, most of them are probably either way, how you call it, influencers or something. They can make a video out of it, and most people that are in the line, they want to resell it probably. What else did we have? Iceman. What did I miss? Thank you for listening. I hope it continues to be a beautiful day for you, and don't forget, aim for the bushes.